What's good? My name is Ahmed. This is Ahmed's Voice. Today we're going to be talking about the Hollywood shuffle and pattern recognition. Again, my name is Ahmed. This is Ahmed's Voice Digital Journal. Thank you for taking a watch or a listen, whether you're watching or listening. I appreciate you being here, spending the time. Again, you can find the base of this podcast or this video cast, webcast, whatever you want to call it, at ahmedsvoice.substack.com. That is my Substack where I write and also do podcasts. You can also find this on YouTube, Spotify in both audio and video form. Shortcut, just head on over to my website, ahmedsvoice.com, and you'll get pointed to wherever you need to go. Now, this journal entry, I would like to talk about one of my favorite movies from my youth. Just watched it over the holiday weekend. Of course, I am talking about Robert Townsend's Hollywood Shuffle from 1987. Spectacular movie, a great satire on the state of Hollywood for Black actors and actresses at the time. Again, this movie was put together by Robert Townsend pretty much on his own dime. He maxed out his credit cards to produce this movie. And if you watch this movie, if you have not already, you will see a lot of familiar faces from 1987. This was, of course, the forerunner to In Living Color. In this movie, you will see Keenan Ivory Wayans, Marvin Wayans, Kim Wayans. Of course, the late, great Paul Mooney is in this movie. Dom Irrera, a lot of other great actors, actresses, and comedians from the late 80s and on that you will recognize as you go forward in time. Again, great movie put together by Robert Townsend. And no spoiler alerts, it's 1987. But the main crux of the movie is Robert Townsend is playing this character named Bobby Taylor. He is an aspiring actor. He is trying to get a gig. He's got an audition coming up for a movie, but the role is for the role of a pimp. And so basically the premise of the movie is Bobby Taylor, played by Robert Townsend again, trying to audition and get this role as a pimp. He wants to be a movie star. He wants to be one of the greats. But right now, the only role that's really in front of his face is the role of a pimp. And the movie kind of goes through a bit of daydream sequences from Bobby as his inner self is wrestling with wanting to be an actor, but also playing this pimp, and what type of example that is going to lead. You know, he's being pushed back from his grandmother about playing this role, about what this movie is going to do, how it is going to influence people. Is this the only way that these are only characters that blacks can portray? So Bobby is going through it. He also has his little brother who looks up to him, and he's starting to trip out about whether, pursuing this role, what kind of effect that's going to have on his little brother going forward. So again, it is a funny movie. It is a comedy, but it does deal with the deep issue that was deeper even then in Hollywood, as far as the limited roles for blacks. It gets into a lot of the white liberalism in Hollywood and entertainment that was always trying to tell black actors and actresses what it was to be black based on their preconceived notions of what they thought was going to sell. And a lot of actors and actresses were kind of stuck on that level of playing these roles that the Hollywood, again, mostly at the time, white liberal artists, the tastemakers, the playmakers, the showrunners, the directors, the producers, they were booking black artists on what they thought black people should be, and what they thought black people should be in movies and in theater. And these were mostly stereotypes. There's actually one character, and I'll get into it in a little bit, that is always a kind of a thorn in Bobby's side when he's going to these auditions, right? Let's do this. Let's make the flip, because I know you read the title, and either who is Buckminster Fuller or what does Hollywood Shuffle have to do with Buckminster Fuller and pattern integrity. And I'll get into this. For if you don't know who Buckminster Fuller is, I was first introduced to Buckminster Fuller, or the person of Buckminster Fuller, when I was working at San Diego Repertory Theater. And the co-founder of San Diego Rep, along with Sam Woodhouse, Doug Jacobs, was coming back and doing a special show about Buckminster Fuller. I kind of went on a rabbit hole with who he was, and Buckminster Fuller was really a great mind, a great mathematician. He was all about patterns and design. He has a lot of great metaphors about how to live life and what it is to be a sailor and how to tie knots and how to navigate ships. Um, Buckminster Fuller was really thinking on a different level, and he didn't speak in a conventional way or come in a conventional package. One of the theories that really stuck with me from Buckminster Fuller is pattern integrity. And what he was saying about pattern integrity is that you could take different types of cloth. You could take a nylon rope, you could take a burlap sack, you could take silk, and then you could take rayon, and you could tie a knot out of all these different fabrics. It didn't matter what the fabric was, the pattern of the knot would be the same. And that's what he called pattern integrity. It didn't matter what the fabric was that you could still weave the same pattern no matter what the fabric was. So how do I get from Hollywood Shuffle to Buckminster Fuller and pattern integrity? Again, going back, while Bobby is going to all these auditions, there's this one character. I forget the actor's name right now, but there's this one character who's at these auditions with them. And this dude is like Black Power, right? He's constantly telling Bobby, yeah, who would play that role? Only a Sambo would play that role. Only a coon and sellout. These white folks want us to play this role. It's the man. Only this kind of guy would play that role. Even though he is auditioning for the same movie, but not this role. So we think. It goes down the line. It goes down the line. Again, a couple more times, this guy pops up. It's like, yeah, man, like, see what they want us to do. See how the white man is. Just needling Bobby about playing the role of this pimp like it's the ultimate sellout job, right? He's going to make the community look so bad. And when it gets to that crucial moment where Bobby's weighing about wanting to be in the movies, but not willing to sell himself out or not willing to play a role that goes against his conscience, and he finally comes to that moment to where he's like, I'm done. This dude jumps in and takes the role. The same one who was berating him, the same one who was telling him it was beneath him to take that role, the same one who was saying anyone who played that role was a coon or a sellout. This guy gladly raises his hand and takes the role, right? What does that have to do with Buckminster Fuller? What does that have to do with pattern integrity? Well, what is the new Hollywood right now? The new Hollywood right now is social media. Now, it's been the new Hollywood for a while because people are on social media playing and acting the same type of roles, right? Like the views, the money, the monetization. It's too much. So a lot of people are on social media, cable, playing roles, but they're playing very serious roles. They're really grasping us. These people are really, really good actors. Trust me, I know. I've worked in the arts for almost 30 years, going on 40. I've worked in mainstream radio. A lot of actors out here. There's a lot of actors that spill it over. They don't know when to stop from going off stage and in the theater or the Hollywood environment in the real life. And we follow them the same way. We give their words extra weight, but they're really putting on a great performance. And you're going to be like, oh, Ahmed, you're just being cynical. How is this pattern integrity? I'm going to take that pattern of that brother constantly berating Bobby and telling him not to take that role, that was a role that was just rooted in white supremacy and that was the devil and that he was selling out taking that role, but took that role. I'm going to change the fabric. I'm going to bring it out of 1987 and just bring it to a couple of instances. My experience in the performing arts in the administrative circle, right? I've had people tell me that an organization was racist, that there was racist tendencies, that there were racist actions, that there were racist things going on that people maybe shouldn't frequent or give their time or their attention or take their business, only to see them turn around years later and take themselves right back and jump on that stage or jump in that space or use that space. I've watched the mechanism of people from the outside, head of organizations, calling other organizations and spaces racist, racist adjacent, sketchy, dirty, have false business practices, only to be on the flip side, outside of the public, still trying to scheme and use and work and get into those spaces or use those resources or use that space or those people to get forward. It is the exact same thing. I've had a first hand seat in seeing this, and that's where I see the pattern integrity. There's still a lot of actors, and the actors they take away from when there's real injustice. They take away from real solutions. It just becomes a circular game of chasing money and grants and sympathy and identity politics and trying to cash in on it where there's really need for inequities to be rectified. There's really need for, constructive criticism and building. Like there's a real need for it, but all of this extra takes away. And so that's the pattern I've seen, to where that actor was telling Bobby he was a sellout if he took that role only because he wanted the role. He wanted the liquid. He wanted the money and the prestige that come from that role. So he's playing a double role. He's a double agent. He's an agent provocateur. It's the same thing happens in the arts. The same thing happens in any other business. There will be people who will tell you the negative thing just to get you out of the way. There will be people playing both sides of the fence. So in the public, they can say they're against or they protest or these people are racist just to be on the circumcised trying to use those resources or get in good to use them in the future. That's pattern integrity. The pattern integrity is that the pattern has no integrity. Like there's no integrity. You can dress it up to look like whatever it wants, but the pattern remains the same. And sometimes you have to be able to look from the inside and see this. You have to have worked around it a long enough time to be able to see it. And it's sad. It happens. But it's part of life. Stuff happens. But anyway, that's all I had to say. That's what I saw in the pattern integrity between Hollywood Shuffle from Robert Townsend in '87 to what I learned from Buckminster Fuller on the stage of San Diego Repertory Theater and reading his readings and studying up on his design. He's an interesting character. You should really check him out. In the description of this video, there's links to the Hollywood Shuffle. It's free on YouTube right now, but also links to our Buckminster Fuller's website where you can learn more about him, learn about his theories, learn about pattern integrity and design. Very interesting dude. If you've never seen the Hollywood Shuffle, please check it out. I know this video is kind of serious, but it is a hilarious movie about a very serious subject, and you can still see how that carries over today. And plus, you're going to see a lot of great actors that you're going to see their early beginnings, first time on film, things like that. Again, my name is Ahmed. You can follow me at ahmedvoice.com. You can follow me on Substack, ahmedvoice.substack.com, on Instagram at ahmedsvoice. You can find it all at ahmedsvoice.com. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, my name is Ahmed, a real person, with real thoughts, and a real voice.